Hey there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. I'm very excited because today we are wrapping up the month of August, and we are going to be showcasing our final episode of this month and our final recipe of the August 2020 cookbook. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and download this cookbook. I write a new Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook each and every month, you guys, and this has been super fun. August is my birthday month, so I made this month extra special. And I'm really excited to showcase this recipe today and to use this as a way to wrap it up. We are going to be making our sweet dessert. Of course, it's Friday, so we always make sweets on Friday. And today we are making a summertime strawberry crumble. I don't know about you, but I absolutely adore crumbles. They're one of my favorite desserts because they're easy to make and they're seasonal. You can use any seasonal fruit that you have and then top it with any types of oats today and flour and things like that. So today we're going to actually showcase a ton of different ingredients that you can use so that you can make it your own. Let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the strawberries. So we want about 1.5 pounds of organic strawberries. And yes, I do mean organic. You definitely want to use organic strawberries. I'm going to explain in a little bit why once this crumble goes into the oven. I'll just give you a little bit of cool facts about the strawberries versus conventional, organic versus conventional in the strawberry world. Very important stuff. So I have these gorgeous organic straws that I got from Trader Joe's. And you want to be really mindful of making sure that your strawberries are organic. One of the ways to do that is to actually look to see if there's a USDA organic stamp on. There is. This one is right here. And I absolutely love the organic strawberries. They tend to be a lot more flavorful than conventional strawberries. I'm not really sure why that is, but they actually taste more like regular traditional strawberry, like the blast of flavor that you would get when you just bite into a juicy strawberry. So today we're going to use these. I've washed them up. And here's a really great way to actually store strawberries before you're using them. I actually store them in a glass container with a paper towel that I fold right on the bottom, and I do not rinse my berries until I'm ready to use them, all right? Very important. I found out about this trick from Harry's Berries. He's a producer of strawberries here in California. Has anyone here had Harry's Berries? They are so good. They're tiny little strawberries. They are so juicy. They are so super duper sweet, like sweeter than any strawberry you've ever had. And they're only produced here in California. And Harry taught me how to store strawberries. He said, you have to do it this way. When you buy them from the store, you usually get them in this clamshell. Don't keep them in this clamshell. If you want them to stay a little longer, like 2-3 days longer, put them in a glass container and just line that container with a little paper towel. Don't wet the paper towel. Keep it dry. And all that moisture from the strawberries will actually be absorbed in the paper towel over the days. And that's what's going to keep it from molding very quickly. All right, so I'm just taking the tops of these strawberries off. And for this recipe, what I need to do is prepare the strawberries first, either in slices or in quarters. And I think I'm going to do quarters today because I really want large chunks of strawberries in my crumble. It's going to be juicy, and I tend to think that when I'm making crumbles, if I slice the fruit too thin, or dice the fruit too thin, rather, it's sort of, the fruit melts away. It gets all bubbly in the oven, and you sort of lose that fruit in the mix, and it becomes more like cooked fruit or puree, right? Do you guys know what I mean? When you've made a crumble before, you probably understand what I'm talking about. You want to keep these slices of fruit as big as possible. And what you're going to end up with are large kind of juicy bits at the end. And you won't have just like a pureed mixture of fruit that's cooked with a crumble top. So let me compost the tops of these strawberries. And then I will quarter these, literally just quartering them up. Danny, will you do the overhead cam so they can follow along with me? I'm using my paring knife here, really simple. And I'm literally just going to go ahead and quickly quarter all of them. If some of these strawberries, like this, for instance, is really small, maybe I would just half that. And then one of these big strawberries, you definitely want to quarter that up. You can use any fruit that you want. Blackberries, blueberries would be nice during this time of year. As we start to enter the first of the fall months, you can use any of the stone fruits that you like. We're going to showcase a stone fruit crumble next month in my September cookbook. I'm so excited to debut this cookbook. It's going to be really, really fun. It's going to be super seasonal, and I love the fall. It's my favorite time of year. All right, I'm going to add to this bowl here all of my quartered strawberry pieces. And now what I want to let this do is I actually want to macerate these strawberries. And that's a really fancy technical word for letting them juice in some sort of sugar. Today I'm going to use regular old cane sugar. This is cane sugar that's unbleached, so it actually tends to look a little bit browner than regular bleached sugar. And I'm going to use 1/3 cup. And everything I do today, I'm doing half of what you would do. So just know I'm not doing even measuring cups because I'm doing half the amount. And then you want to just mix this up. Let me grab a spoon. And the maceration will take place almost immediately. The sugar really kind of helps to cook the fruit a little bit. It will release some of the liquid of the fruit, and it will become this juicy strawberry bowl in just like a matter of few minutes here. All right, so let me put this to the side, and let's talk about the next thing that you're going to need. Forgot to mention this, but I'll mention it now. If you have one of these, this is a scale, and you definitely will want to use this for a crumble. If you definitely want 1.5 pounds of strawberries, use a scale. Use a weight scale. It's going to help you. All right, the next thing that I want is arrowroot flour. So you can use arrowroot flour. This is arrowroot starch or flour. You can use tapioca starch. You can also use corn flour or cornstarch. These are all great. Cornstarch and tapioca starch are some of the most processed of the starches or thickening agents, whereas arrowroot tends to be least processed. All right, so I really like arrowroot for this reason. Arrowroot tends to also be grain-free, which is really great. And you can use it as a 1-to-1 ratio, like you would cornstarch or tapioca. And I'm going to use about 1.5 tablespoons of the arrowroot. And now that this strawberry mixture has just taken a second, let me show you now what it looks like. It's already starting to juice. This looks great. And I can tell I have like some juice that's forming on the outside surface of all the strawberries. This is perfect. Now I can add the next ingredient, which is the arrowroot. I'm going to add the sprinkled arrowroot right on top of the berries right now. All right. And I'm just going to add a little touch of vanilla extract. You can use any extract that you like. I really like alcohol-free vanilla extract, so I purchased the alcohol-free kind. That means that instead of alcohol, they're using vegetable glycerin. And I'm going to use just like a little tiny half teaspoon. A tiny splash. You can use orange extract, lemon extract. You can use almond extract. That would be fantastic. Any of these are great. Now we have the extract, the sugar, the strawberries, and the arrowroot. And we are going to mix it up. And what you're going to see is you have this really kind of thick, delicious, ready for a crumble top filling for a crumble, right? This is our strawberry filling. Yum. This looks perfect. Now go ahead and grab yourself some sort of baking dish. I really like these. These are fantastic. These are single serve. For you, for 1.5 pounds of strawberries, you might consider using a much bigger one, a 9x9. But I like this little guy. It's really fun to use. This is a Le Creuset, and this is oven safe. It's microwavable safe. It's everything safe. It's dishwasher safe. It's really great, and it should last a lifetime. So that's why I like using these baking dishes. Put your strawberries right down on the bottom. You don't have to butter it. You don't have to oil it. Nothing. Just layer them in. And then I want to make sure that they're just kind of pressed down all the way to the edges. Every edge should have some strawberries. Everything should be sitting flat and kind of a single layer as single layer gets, right? Great. I don't have a big mound over here or over here. Everything seems pretty level. To make sure it's even more level, you can give it a tap. And this looks perfect. All right. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is make the crumble top. Very, very simple. Let me just pop this to the side so that I can grab another bowl. I'm going to make the crumble top right here. This is really super fun. Now, here's where you can get creative. If you haven't done so already and gotten creative with the fruit, you can get creative with the topping. So to make this crumble topping, lots of different ways to do it. I'm actually going to begin with a little bit of granulated sugar again. Now, if you are sugar-free, you can leave this off. Definitely want to sugar, I think, the fruit more than the topping if you had to choose one. So I'm going to add just a little bit. It's like it's 1/3 cup here. You can use maple syrup too if you want. You can use agave nectar. Date syrup would be fine. Any of these sweeteners would be fantastic. Coconut sugar would be awesome as well. It really doesn't matter. So a little bit of sugar. I'm also going to use a little bit of coconut oil. So I'm using organic coconut oil today. This is a white label. And I love this stuff. The white label or the clear label is the coconut oil that is not refined, meaning this is going to have the full coconut flavor and aroma. It's organic virgin, but it's cold pressed. That means it's unrefined. You're going to get all of the flavors of the coconut oil, which for strawberry crumble is actually going to be really, really great. So I'm going to measure out, I want 1/2 cup of coconut oil. And like I said, I'm doing everything half, so I'm just going to do 1/4 cup. Now, let's say you're whole food plant-based. I always say good on ya if you are. I am not, but I like to give modifications for all of my recipes in case you are. If you are, that means that you don't eat oil. You don't have any oil in your daily diet or in any of your recipes. And so as a substitute for oil, especially for something like this, you can use nut butter. Now, I know what you're thinking is probably like, oh, no, that would never work. Try it. Give it a try. Any of the creamy raw nut butters, like raw almond butter, would be fantastic in this because it has a high fat content, just like coconut oil, and it's creamy like coconut oil is, yeah? And it's going to kind of lend itself perfectly for the same sort of like application like the coconut oil does. Hi, Nelson. Hi, Zana. Hi, Diane. Good to see you. I'm going to throw in my coconut oil now. And let's talk about the flours, all right? So you can use lots of different types of flour. I'm going to show you all the different types that I brought out for you today. The first is, well, let me start with the basic. The first is the all-purpose flour, right? All-purpose, really simple. You can use this in any of your baking needs. It's not called all-purpose for no reason. You really can use it for everything, from yeast breads to quick breads to thickening sauces to making slurries to anything. I love this stuff. The only problem with this is if it's not non-GMO project verified and USDA organic, what you're probably going to end up eating in a bag of all-purpose flour that's conventional and non-project GMO verified is you're probably going to get GMO'd conventional wheat. And we know here in the United States that actually wreaks havoc in the body. It really does. We've seen it time and time again. There's a lot of different books on this. If you want one, I can recommend one. It's called Wheat Belly. It's a really interesting book. I highly recommend that if you do use wheat in the US, especially here in the United States, try to get one that is non-GMO project verified. Let me get out the words. There we go. There is the little verification. What this means is this is a non-genetically modified organism, meaning the wheat that has been used to make this flour, to be milled into this all-purpose flour so beautifully, is not genetically modified. This is really important. We don't yet know what all of the ways that the genetically modified organisms can do to our gut microbiome, but we're starting to get the idea, and when I say we, I'm talking about the nutrition science industry. We're starting to get the idea that any conventional wheat, especially GMO wheat, is really going to cause a lot of inflammation in the body. It is, they're saying that there is some ties between lots of different chronic illnesses and cancer and conventional wheat. And a lot of people are tending to get a lot more gluten intolerance. This tends to happen because our conventional wheat is kind of toxic. It's considered GMO'd because it is it's made in a lab. The seed is actually genetically modified, and then it's planted. And the seed that's genetically modified tends to actually be resistant to all sorts of natural things that our body will do. So it actually disables the mechanisms in our body to thrive and to be healthy. The last thing that I'll say about this is genetically modified wheat, as well as corn, as well as soy in the United States, is all sprayed with this really interesting chemical called Roundup. The scientific name is called glyphosate, and we absolutely know that is 100% linked to certain cancers as well as gut microbiome issues. So we really want to enjoy organic corn, soy, and wheat. Got it? All right. Now, let's get on to it. If you don't want to use all-purpose and you want to use something a little healthier, when I say healthy, in this case, I'm talking about more iron, more protein, and of course, more fiber, I would opt in for the whole wheat flour. This is one of my favorite whole wheat flours. It's 100% organic einkorn. Einkorn is one of the first wheats that was ever planted here in the United States. It's over 1,200 years old. Native Americans have been using it for a very long time. And it's wonderful stuff. So if you could use this, this is great. But today I'm going to use something that's totally naturally gluten-free. It is buckwheat flour. Buckwheat flour has this beautiful color. And I'm going to add this to my sugar oil mixture. I want about 3/4 of a cup of the buckwheat flour. And let me show you the color of this. Take a look. It's like this gorgeous, almost black speckled flour. And I love buckwheat flour. It's naturally gluten-free. It's really great. It has a high amount of fiber. It has a high amount of protein as well. So we're going to use that. And then I also want one other ingredient that's going to be the base of this. I want sprouted quick oats, or just quick oats if you can't find sprouted. You don't want to use rolled oats for this because this crumble is actually not going to take a long time. So I'm going to use quick oats today. And I'm using the sprouted kind. I'm using half a cup of this would be perfect. And I really love the sprouted because all of the nutrients are more bioavailable in our bellies. When you sprout these grains, they make it more nutritious. And I love this. This is the 1 Degree Organic Foods. It's really, really good stuff. This comes from Thrive Market. And I will show you. It has all sorts of amazing little labels on the bottom. USDA organic, beyond celiac. It is definitely non-glyphosate biocheck. So no glyphosate was used to spray on this oat mixture to make the oats. All right, the last thing that I need is a little bit of the flavor agents. Now you can use ground cinnamon. That's what I'll use today. Just a couple splashes or sprinkles. You could also use a little bit of ground cardamom. Here it is. This is going to give this a wonderful floral aroma. Why not? I'll just give this a little sprinkle. And then you can use a little bit of nutmeg. Now I'm going to use fresh nutmeg. If you've never seen fresh nutmeg before, those are what they look like. They're like balls, and I will show you what it looks like when it's open. Here it is. This is fresh nutmeg. There we go. You can see there's like little tiny specks. Do you see that? All right. I'm going to use a little baby rasp or a grater and just grate in some fresh nutmeg. Any spices or flavor agents that you like would be welcomed here. All right, and then just a little tiny bit of salt. I'm talking like 1/4 of a teaspoon, in my case, 1/8. That's it. That's the crumble. Give this a mix using a little fork. And it's just going to crumble up in like large clumps. This looks so good. This looks so yummy. It smells so yummy. Grab your strawberry mixture. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to add my crumble. I think I'll use my hands right to the top. And I'm going to crumble it on. Yes, that's why this recipe is called a crumble, because it looks like there's little crumbles on top. Oh, this looks so good already, and it's not even cooked. What's going to happen once this gets cooked in the oven is the strawberries will sink down. They're going to cook down. It's going to get nice and liquidy. You're going to see a lot of the strawberry juice kind of veining up the walls of this baking sheet, this baking pan. It's going to be really, really great. The buckwheat and the oats together are going to get nice and toasty. This looks phenomenal. All right, this goes into the oven, 375 degrees for about 30 minutes or so. Then you want to drop down the heat to 325 and finish it for about 10 more minutes. Let me place this in the oven. And I just want to show you one thing. Now, I told you I would talk about organic strawberries really quickly. I brought this really cool guide up. Now, this guide is called the Dirty Dozen. Have any of you heard about it? The Dirty Dozen is an amazing list of ingredients. It's the 43 most used produce ingredients. And every year, the Environmental Working Group actually create this list. And what they do is they come together and they sample 43,000 different samples of ready-to-eat produce. And this means the produce has been peeled, it's been washed, and it is literally ready to eat. And what they're sampling for is the pesticides that are actually still remaining on the piece of produce. So I'm going to show you, they come out with a wonderful list. They've been doing this since 2004. And it's 12 of the most pesticide-laden produce items. And it's really interesting. I'll do a quick screen share. And here we go. Number 1 on this list, you guessed it, strawberries. Now, strawberries come up on this list every single year. That's why I wanted to emphasize so much the organic versus the conventional. But just really quickly, I'll go through it. Spinach is next, then kale. And this is all by season, of course. So nectarines, apples, they're coming back in. Grapes, peaches, cherries, pears. You wouldn't think pears, right? Tomatoes, we know that for sure. Celery, we also know those two come up on the list every single year. potatoes even, which is weird because they grow underground. So you would think, oh, they're safe enough, right? But no, they're not. And then they add an extra one, which are hot peppers. Just find this really interesting. You can go on the ewg.org website to look this up on your own and to learn more about it if you want. And while this bakes, let me quickly tell you what's in store. You guys, my birthday is this weekend. I'm very excited. Danny planned a really fun camping trip. Guess what we're doing? We're going to an animal sanctuary, and we're going to actually be living with the animals for a day on Sunday night. And all of these animals have been released from animal agriculture factory farms. And we're going to get to hang out with them for a whole day on Sunday. And then we're going to camp there overnight and wake up on Monday, which is my birthday, August 31st. And I'm just going to be loving on these animals all day long. I'm so excited. I hear that there's a turkey, there's a pig, there's several chickens, probably a cow as well. I'm very excited. Don't worry. I'm going to be posting some photos. I'm just like, this has been my like, definitely like, I think a birthday wish of mine for a while, definitely since I've gone plant-based, but I've always had a special spot in my heart for animals. I just like never voiced it. It never was vocal in my sort of spirit and in my awareness until I became plant-based. So I'm very, very excited for this. And having said that, I'm going to take the week off next week because I've been going so hard on these videos, producing videos every single day for the last, like, I want to say 15 weeks. It's been a long time since the mid-March timeframe. So I'm going to take a little break and we're going to come right back to you the second week of September. I'm very excited. And that is going to be the week that we're going to debut our September Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook. I'm very excited. We just wrapped up the August cookbook. This was awesome. This is going to still be available for purchase. If you do want a copy, you can still get this at the same link. If you need the link, go ahead and ask me. We'll drop it in this box as well. But I'm excited to debut the September cookbook. I'm also excited for a little break next week. And don't worry, I'll be here. I'll be posting a little bit, but I won't be doing any of my live videos. And I will be back with you the following week. All right, I'm excited. I think this cobbler crumble, strawberry crumble is done. And I prepared one ahead of time. So this is just finishing in the oven. Will you look at this? Yum. Oh my gosh. Let's do the overhead so you can see. Will you look at this? It's bubbly. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. You can see the buckwheat flour is just super bright still. It's juicy. It's bubbly. This looks fantastic. I think I want to serve a little up. How about a bowl? This is going to be great. You can serve this with anything you want, really. You can serve it with ice cream, whipped cream, nice cream, truly anything. And I'm going to go for it. I love a hot crumble. Oh yeah, I'm so glad that I actually made these sliced strawberry pieces thick. It pays off. You can like still see the strawberry bits, see? Yeah, this looks so good. And I like to layer it. I get a really big mound of the crumble before I serve it. You can also serve it with mint right on top. That would be yummy. But you know what? This is perfect just as it is. I can tell. I'm going to go for it. A little bite or a big bite. Oh, it's steamy. I can see the specks of cinnamon. Mm. Everything I want and more. It's bright. It's strawberry-y. It's like really got this amazing nutty quality from the buckwheat, as well as those oats, kind of crispy or crunchy from the oats. It's really great. The cinnamon is wonderful. The cardamom, even the nutmeg, you can definitely taste it. I absolutely love this. Like I said, you can make this your own. I hope that you do. Just enjoy the recipes of this cookbook. Please consider following along next month for September. We have so much in store for you. I've been spending the last 4 weeks writing the September cookbook, and it's been awesome. It's been super fun to do it. I often say to myself, wow, I would be doing this even if I didn't go live doing this. I would be doing everything, all the developing, all the recipe testing, because I absolutely genuinely love it. So If you have questions along the way, please get in touch with me. I definitely can help you out along your plant-based journey. And thank you so much for your support. Go out there, have a wonderful rest of your day or your evening. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye, guys. Peace out.